What's up, YouTube? This is TCG Buzz back at it again, and long time no see. I have returned from the Fusion Reborn premiering, now bringing you the hot spice that is Janemba. And then I actually topped locals this past weekend, and that was a lot of fun and the wonderful mirror match. But it just boiled down to him winning because he's straight up mill, and I'm just really terrible aggro. Like, really bad, but...
Good job selling them your deck, man.
Thanks. All right, I just read the post-it notes. And let's get down to it. So, between the two Janembas, I decided this one because mainly I didn't really have an idea how I wanted to go about mill, but I also enjoy the 5-drop way more, and it's just an overall better game plan for me. But front side is pretty generic. You attack, you mill 2 to draw 1, and then you awaken on tap 2 at 4 or less. And then his backside is really good because then whenever he attacks, then he gains the crit and draws a card when you have 5 or more on the drop. However, at the same time, unlike the other ones, he gets a 5k boost. I know, blue privilege, right? But he also has to activate main that he can discard a card from your hand, and then for the rest of the turn, if your opponent would activate a counter play card, like Crusher Balls, what is that other one? Cold Bloodlust, stuff like that, then they would have to discard 3 cards from their hand to basically turn them off from doing that. But other than that, that's the general at the helm there. So, and then to start off the deck, we got our lovely super combo, the Town Hero. It's easier to do 5 cards than it is to get to 4 life, so because you basically don't run any Self-Awaken in the deck, because otherwise you just die too fast. 4 Trunks, cards broken, please nerf. God said help. 4 Deadly Defenders, because they're just really good all-around card that it's really good at any point in the game that you play it, because barrier 20k on your turn, and then during your opponent's turn, your opponent has to attack it instead of your leader, and then it loses 5k, but the point being it took a hit for you, and that's why he's there. And to start the Janemba package, we start off with a Psyche Demon rocking out, and then he checks the top 7 for a Janemba, or the bottom card for a Janemba, and then adds it to your hand, and then you shuffle your deck. And then you evolve onto him from this little boy to that little boy. And good old Janemba. So then you could pay 3 blue, or you can pay the 2 blue to evolve him, and then he's 1900, which is a really awkward number, but still a good number. Has barrier, so basically, what doesn't have barrier has crit, and what doesn't have crit has barrier. But he has an activate main that you can pay a blue. Then you search your deck for up to 1. That's the important part. Up to 1 Janemba, and then send it to your warp, and then put this card at the bottom of your deck. That is all part of the cost. So even if they try to do stuff to you, that part of the effect still goes off. Then after that all resolves, you choose a Janemba from your warp and play it. That's a cost of 4 or less. Oh no, 4. Excuse me, 4. Yeah, the magic number in this deck is 4. And then speaking of 4s, there is quite a few of them. Here are 4 Demon Swords. You crit deflect, and then you activate main. You warp a dude on their side, and then you tuck them to the bottom, and they mill 2 cards. It goes in both variants, and quite honestly, this guy is really good. Also really annoying to block. Only 2 Reality Benders. Quite honestly, this is just not the deck for him. I've always been disappointed in this card every single time, and honestly, I'm just thinking of just turning him into Vegetos, because then that's 2 more Deadly Defenders for the deck, and then that helps my strat. But then again, he also has crit deflect, and then at the end of your turn, he goes to the bottom of your deck, and then your opponent mills 2. So it's a plan B. It's not a good one, but it's there. I very rarely make him a 1 cost in the deck. It rarely ever happens. And then here's the 5 cost. That is Janemba, the Infernal Chain, and 5 blue to hard cast, so you're committed to this card. And then it has crit, auto, you can only play once per turn. If that auto was negated, that would be really dumb. But you have activate main sparking 10, so you need 10 cards in the drop to make it work. It's not undoable, but it takes a little bit to get there. But you tuck them to the bottom of your deck as part of the cost, and then you choose a Janemba card from your warp that's cost of 4 and play it. And then we get to the very heart and soul of the deck. Phantom Strike Janemba, the card that makes the deck go around. That he's a 4-drop, 4 blue, so once again, very hard to splash colors in this deck. Crit, activate main when this card, send this card to the warp, part of the cost. If your opponent has 4 or more energy and a Janemba card isn't in your battle area, choose up to 1 Janemba with an energy cost of 5 from your hand and play it. And then he also has an auto that when he's sent from the battle area to the warp, then you choose up to 1 opponent's battle card and then send it to the owner's warp. Then look at the bottom card of your deck and then add up to 1 Janemba from your deck to your hand, shuffle your deck. And what's good about this is that the 3-drop coincides with the 4-drop. You warp this, he comes into play, and then he warps a dude on his way out. You add back the 3-drop, and then you keep looping that until you find your 5-drop. And then when you find your 5-drop, you cheat the 5-drop into play. Then you put this back into the field, and then you warp another guy, and then you get the back of the 5-drop. And by the end of the exchange, you've already warped 2 battle cards, made 4 swings, and 3 of them were crit. Holy crap. And the cleanest finisher in the deck, quite honestly, further instruction to Champa. Just good old double strike get you. It's really annoying with crit. I promise you, you'll never find anything more infuriating than that. Outside of 3 senzu beans. Honestly, the deck doesn't need more. It's fine at 3. And quite honestly, it's just there just to make sure you're safe. The 3 coercions, and then 4 dimension magics, and then the good old Fubas. I've been liking Fuba a lot more this format since you can reliably tap out and then use dimension magic to on tap 2, take a life, and then you set up your Mafuba so that kind of it persuades them away from attacking you. That or if they attack you, just Mafuba the darn card and be done with it. But other than that, deck's super fun to play. And I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it is a very strong deck, in my opinion. And I would honestly have you guys give it an honest-to-God shot before you basically shoot this deck down. But other than that, it's just crit. It's really, really hard to beat crit sometimes. And the thing is, they can stop taking crit the first couple of times, but then after they whittle away their hand, they have to start taking the hits, and eventually they're stuck in a situation that they can't do either thing, and then they just die. You just win by attrition. But that is the goal of the deck. You just win by attrition, and your opponent runs out of cards. Really terrible hand control. But on that, hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile, and I'll see you guys next time.